everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Mr. Adetola Amos Fabiyi, and we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship mindset and much more. Let me quickly tell you how we came about recording this. About a week ago, I shared on social media platforms about my concern. I said that I was concerned about high rates of unemployment among PhD graduates. And I wrote about things that could be done, like government should increase more funding for PhD graduates to do research, like universities, teaching PhD graduates about entrepreneurship, even before they graduate, that they should teach them about entrepreneurship, and also that companies should not have this mindset that PhD graduates are overqualified. And I also said that it's important that NGOs should also do something. I mentioned the case of Operation Transform, which I'm the founder. We organized an event about 2 years ago tied to turn your research into a profitable startup. And I was like saying that everybody has to do something. I ended by quoting a quote that it takes a whole village to move a mountain. At the end of the day, after I shared my message on Facebook and other platform, Mr. Fabiyi contacted me, and now we are now talking about entrepreneurship. And we're not also going to be talking about entrepreneurship. We're also going to be talking about value reorientation. It has been said that value reorientation is very, very important. We're also going to talk about youth leadership. So without wasting time, let's dig in. So the first question I'm going to be asking today is from my guest. I would like him to tell us about himself. So without wasting time, let me ask him, Mr. Fabiyi, can you tell us about yourself, where you were born, and everything you would like people to know about you? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Prof. I wouldn't appreciate this opportunity. This is by mistake, and our post connected us, but I think there's something more powerful than that brought us together. And that's because we're yearning for a better country, a better Nigeria, a better world for people. So this is us talking about how to make things better. I'm going to answer your question as quickly as I can. First, I'll give you my background so people can know where I'm coming from. There's a lot of people think that maybe if an entrepreneur is successful or if he's doing well, maybe he has some undue advantage somewhere. But I'll say that I came from a very humble background. My father was a medical laboratory scientist. He's late now. He was also a minister of the gospel, Reverend Dr. Amos Fabiyi, Fabiyi. I'm actually his namesake. My mom, she's still alive by God's grace. She was a caterer. Right now she manages my father's business that he left behind. My daddy had a laboratory that he was managing before he died about 14, 15 years ago. We're both a family of 3 brothers. I'm the second. I won't call myself born with a silver spoon, but I won't say also that I was not born with any spoon at all. So let's say in those days of the 80s, and the 70s, we were the middle class family, if you call middle class in Nigeria. So I had a fairly good education. I went to Maryland Convent Private School in Ikeja. After that, I went to Baptist Boys High School in Abeokuta, but I was only there for just a year, my JS1. Then from Baptist Boys High School in Abeokuta, I went to Federal Government College One, where I finished in '98. And from there, I went to Yaba Tech to study civil engineering. That's another very long story. So from Yaba Tech, I also crossed over to FUTA, studied civil engineering also. So Yaba Tech, I had my NG in Yaba Tech, and I also had my B Tech and B engine in FUTA. So after FUTA, obviously you go for your NYSC. Then after NYSC, I got employed almost immediately. In fact, I actually had a job before going for NYSC, so they gave me a 1-year leave to go and do my NYSC. And which is one of the things I'm going to discuss today, because it has to do with how we can prepare ourselves for the marketplace from school. Because I got that job while I didn't dare bid for that job while I was still preparing for my final year defense in 500 level. So as soon as I was done in 500 level, I just went to resume as a full staff, not an NYSC staff. And it was God, because I don't want to take the credit for myself, but there were things I did also that prepared me for that kind of result, and God backed it up in His favor, you know. So from there, I went to business school also. I don't know if you've heard about Enterprise Development Center. It used to be called Pan Atlantic University. But one of their faculties is called Enterprise Development. So I had a training. I had two trainings there. One was a training by British Council and University of Glamorgan. I was sponsored in partnership with EDC. That was in 2009. Then after that, I did another training called Grooming Enterprise Leaders, also in EDC. Then I had a short stint with the School of Media and Communications, also under Atlantic University. You know, and since 2011, I started my business. You know, I've done quite a number of things, and I've evolved. You know, I want to believe that at some point I will have a opportunity to explain how I evolved. But basically, that's how and I'm also a husband. Let's not forget that part. I'm a father of two beautiful girls and a husband of a wife. My name is Mr Adetola Fabiyi, and I have two daughters. So that's it about me. I'm from Ogun State also. Very proud to be from Ogun State. And I'm a proud Nigerian. So I guess that kind of summarizes my bio. I'm also a child of God and God's grace. I believe I'm called to do some great things for my generation. And one of the things I believe I'm called to do is to raise leaders. You know, in Nigeria, I believe that we don't have a very systemic way of raising leaders. We leave our leadership to chance or to opportunities or by happenstance. But I believe in a society that will prosper properly has to be very deliberate about grooming people that can take over. So absolutely. I believe one of my assignments is do that. You know, so that's about me. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to social entrepreneurship. Very, very passionate.
Yes.
You know, so I'm not just a regular businessman. I have two sides of me. I do the regular capital business and also very, very passionate about social entrepreneurship. In fact, right now, both sides are merging into one, which I'll talk about much later. So that's about me.
Wow, that is interesting. And you grew up in Lagos. I also grew up in Lagos. I grew up in Ojota. I also, lived in K2 before I went to.
I was born in Mushin.
Okay, Mushin. Okay, yeah.
I didn't grow up too well in Mushin, but I was born in Mushin. Yeah. Then from Mushin, I grew up in Otoji.
Okay.
You know? So
interesting.
it was not that we were born in any highbrow area.
I understand.
We all grew up.
I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. And later you also schooled at Federal Idoani, Federal Government College Idoani. Yeah. Interesting. I went to Unity Secondary School. Idoani is not far from Owo. Yeah.
That's
interesting.
True.
That's very interesting. The next question I want to ask is going to be obvious because of your dad and your mom. I want to ask, how did you develop the entrepreneurship mindset, and how can people develop that mindset?
Okay, I will tell my story. I think from my story, it will be obvious how you can develop that mindset. Now, I grew up a church boy. I grew up because my father was a pastor in church, straight from the White Garment Church before we moved to Pentecostal. So I was always in church. I got born again very early in my life. I was just about 10 years old when I got born again. I was in JS2. So all my life, I always knew church. It was church in fellowship on campus. When I was in secondary school, I was an ESCO on the campus. In Yabatech, even full time, I was an ESCO. So all my life was church and the Bible, up until a particular point. I never thought I would ever be a businessman. In fact, anybody that knew me back then, in their mind, they would think I would have ended up being a pastor or something in church or something. So there was nothing in my background or in my upbringing till I was about maybe 2021 that ever showed any signs that I would ever be an entrepreneur. I didn't even think I could be an entrepreneur. personally.
Mm.
But when I got into FUTA on my birthday, October 3rd, one of my roommates, his name is John T. He was in 500 level then. I was in 200 level then. I just got in by direct entry. He gave me a book. The title of that book was Parable of Dollars by Sam Adeyemi.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the book too. I
That
think I read
was
the book
my
there.
turning point. That was my turning point. That was my turning point. Initially I was like, what's that in my parable of dollars? We are taking the parable of talents in the Bible, something very spiritual. I am turning it into. But he gave me the book, and I was a birthday present, so I decided to read the book. Now, in that book, Mr Adeyemi was speaking about some very, very vital things that everybody has something, has a gift, a talent in you that God has given to you that you can use, to trade. Can you still help me, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Can you still help me?
Yeah, you can continue. I'm hearing you.
Hello, Prof. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Fabiyi was speaking in that book, and it was like, everybody has it that make you money. Like because the foundation of that book was a story of that widow whose husband had died and she was in debt, and they were coming to take away her children as the collateral for the debt. And she ran to meet the prophet, and the prophet asked her, "What do you have?" She said, "I have nothing except a pot of oil." Now it was that same pot of oil that God breathed upon, and the oil multiplied, and she was able to pay off her debt. So someone was saying that everybody has something that we can use to prosper. So I asked myself, I said, what do I have? I don't really have anything. I was not so rich. I was only living on the allowance my father was giving to me, from my upkeep. So I look at myself and I told myself, what exactly do I have that I could use to trade that could get me money? I didn't even have a computer. The only thing I had then that I could understand was my Bible. So I said, okay, I have my Bible. I think I have that as an asset. But am I going to go and start selling Bibles to people or start collecting money from preaching the gospel to people, or what am I supposed to do? So I said, okay, let me keep quiet and okay, what else do I have? I asked myself, okay, I can talk. Over the years, I've always been in leadership positions whereby I could speak and preach and talk to people. I was a drama director in school, so I could act, so I could talk. I said, okay, I can talk. Well, how can talking make me money? I couldn't understand how having a gift of talking can make me money. So I asked myself again, what else do I have? So it occurred to me, I had a lot of friends. I believe the Holy Spirit was just helping me direct myself because I can't take credit for that. Because I had no idea. But I was just trying to follow what I read in the book and do like a SWOT analysis. If I use that word right now, say, okay, what are the things I have currently? So I told myself I had a lot of friends. So I asked myself, okay, in the demography of my friends, how many are males, how many are females? I discovered that, okay, I have more female friends than male friends. So someone asked me a question, okay, why exactly do you have more female friends than male friends? So I was like, to myself, okay, I enjoy my female friends' company better. I like the way they dress. So somebody told me, do you realize that since you like the way your female friends dress, if you have clothes that you can sell to them, that you appreciate on them, they can buy those clothes from you and you exchange that for money. It was like a light bulb moment for me that, okay, what's going on here? So during a midterm break in school, I went home. I was working, I was navigating. I was walking towards Agege to take a bus to Songwater. I passed by a lady who was selling some, these hijab-like veils for ladies. And it looked so beautiful.
Yeah.
It looked so beautiful. I thought myself, if I was a female, I would like to wear something like this. And if I see my female friends wearing this, I would love it on them. So I went to price it. I priced it. They told me it was, I think, it said about 500 naira per dozen or per one, then. So I thought myself, if I go to where they can buy this in bulk, maybe like a no-shoji or something, I can get it cheaper. That's the one, so that don't ever discountenance where you grew up from. Everything about you, where you grew up from, your past experiences, they all are working together to make you who you are. Because I grew up in Oshodi, I knew that there were markets that they sold things in bulk. So I went to the market in Oshodi. I discovered that at the bulk price, I could buy that calf at 250 kobo. Sorry, 250 naira per one. So, but then it came to, I didn't have money to buy it because I didn't have any money. So I knew I had to go and borrow. Remember that woman in Zabadiyemi story? She went to borrow vessels.
Yeah.
So she could afford the oil. So I knew I had to go and borrow something, which was money, this was to do what I wanted to do. So my father was my first financier in business. When I told him to borrow money, everybody was laughing that they couldn't see any trait of an entrepreneur in me. So my mom said then that, well, you're going to end up dashing out all these things you want to buy. So I said, just trust me. So my father borrowed 2,000 naira then, 2,000 naira. Remember all this, I was still a student. I was in student level in university. And I was just trying to figure out how to activate that side of me. So my father borrowed me the 2,000 naira. Can you believe me that I went to the market? I didn't want to waste the money, so I only bought half a dozen. I wanted to test if it will work. In 2 days, I had sold half a dozen.
Interesting.
I went back, I bought more. In 2 weeks, I sold 2 dozen.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
So that was my light bulb moment that everybody has a gift that you can use to train. And it came from reading a book.
Yeah.
So
I like
to develop
that.
an entrepreneurial mindset, you need to read.
Absolutely.
You need to
I like
expose
that.
your mind to things that you were not aware of before. I wasn't aware I had a gift. But reading a book called Parable of Brothers opened my eyes to see that I had a gift I could use.
Yeah, that's perfect. I like that. I like what you just said. Yeah, I like it. Reading books, very, very important. The same thing happened to me. One of my mentors told me when I finished my first degree, said, make sure you read 3 books. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read The Richest Man in Babylon. Those books changed my life, changed the way I look at money. And I've written some books. And one of the books I wrote is, I was talking about innovation and investment, a step-by-step guide on how to create wealth. And one of the chapters I wrote about how we can convert our passion into money. Like you discover your passion, you discover what you love doing, and you were able to convert it into profit. I think that is very, very important. That is very, very perfect. And I'm happy that you were able to do that. Perfect. But another thing I also saw that you didn't. Okay, you wanted to say something, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. That was just the beginning.
Yeah.
I began to evolve over time. So the very first business I ever did was to sell female veils.
Okay.
When I sold, I paid back my money and paid my tithe. I moved to selling Nigeria. After I finished doing that, I moved to computer training. But before I did that, I went to go and learn. I read a particular verse in the Bible in Daniel, where Daniel was taken into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar was choosing some key people to work in his palace. And I remember that before God gave Daniel wisdom that was 10 times better, Daniel had some skills that he had already learned over time and he had acquired that made him qualified to work in the king's palace.
Yeah.
So that pushed me to start learning things that were going to be relevant for the marketplace after I graduated. So I went to learn how to use AutoCAD to design. I studied civil engineering. So I learned how to use AutoCAD to design. So before I even finished school, I was already designing and drafting for people outside school.
Interesting.
So
that's amazing.
I got there. I got it by God's favor and grace, and also because I was able to do things that the average graduate of my age could not do at the time. I could both design and draft using the computer, using AutoCAD.
That is interesting.
So skill acquisition is also very key. When you have a direction you are going to, you need to if it's something you want to do and you don't have the skill in that area, the first thing is to go and learn.
Yeah.
So another way of the mindset is to learn and keep acquiring skills relevant to where you want to go to. And then looking back at my journey right now, I think the entrepreneurship mindset are in phases and stages. When I began business initially, my mindset was just to make money to take care of myself. I just wanted to make money, to be a bit financial independent. That's not bad. It's a good place to start, but that's a level of an entrepreneurship mindset. The next level is having a vision, wanting to make, build something really great, like a really, really great. I just want to, the first one is, I just wanted to make money to just survive on my own. The next phase is I want to build a business. I want to employ people. I want to provide jobs for people. That's another level of entrepreneurship mindset. Now, for me, the highest point right now for me is I want to change lives.
Absolutely, yeah. That's social entrepreneurship is very important. Yeah.
To those three phases, and if you are able to enter phase 3 of saying, I want my business to make an impact on my community and change lives while I'm making money, then you've hit the aquifer zone of entrepreneurship.
Perfect. I like that.
Your well will never run down. So for me, those are 3 phases you will go through when it comes to entrepreneurship. So right now for me, my business expressions are beginning to merge with my social expressions in a way where I can be making money and at the same time I'm making impact. For me, that's the holy grail. Really. So
yeah, that's great.
Your questions,
you did it fantastically. Another question I want to ask you, and I know, but because of our time, I want us to be fast about this question. What is the role of universities and higher education centers in developing entrepreneurship mindset for students? Using your example as an example.
Straight to the point. Yes, I think we need a curriculum change. Most of our curriculum that we pass through are not designed for today's job.
Yeah.
So the first place is we need to prepare graduates for the marketplace. It doesn't make sense that because yes, there's a place of induction and learning the organization. Their values, but it shouldn't take that long. First place is our curriculum. For example, when I was in school, there was nothing like AutoCAD in our engineering training. But I knew that in the field, AutoCAD was important if you went to work as an engineer. So I didn't talk up and start complaining that it was not in our curriculum. I wanted to learn it on my own.
Yeah.
But imagine if our university now inculcates automated design and CAD drawing as a tool, you already have that skill. So computer-aided design can be fitted into training of engineers, because right now, to understand how computer-aided design work is a waste of time. So we need a curriculum change so that the students will turn out are ready made for the economy of today, the needs of the market. That's number one. And number two, using my example, when I was in school, my project was a real life problem. I taught myself in Excel to build warehouses optimally. All you have to do was just input the dimensions of your warehouse, and the best design and that was cost effective will come out. I used Excel in school because I couldn't program then. Now, why did I do that? I told myself I wanted my final year project not to be sitting down in the dust in the HOD's office after we graduate. I wanted it to be something that could solve a real world problem. So I think in our schools right now, there needs to be more synergy between the school and the private industry, the business sector. Business sector should give the universities problems to solve. Yeah. The universities are supposed to be thinking centers to solve and fund those researches, so that our students can be engaged in solving real life, like you said, turn your project into a startup. So you can imagine if all the Nigerian students in their final year project are solving real life problems in their final year project. Those projects can be adopted by the business world, to solve real problems or even to develop the prototypes they create. So I think that's where schools can come in.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Absolutely. And you also mentioned that you attended some training courses at Lagos Business School. Very, very important. I also remember I did one at University of California, Davis, in the USA,
Okay.
and I did what is called an academic entrepreneurship academy. That also really changed my mindset. So universities should really inculcate that kind of training into their curriculum. It's very, very important, so that you can begin to let people think about entrepreneurship. And we know that everybody's not going to become an entrepreneur, but if you have that mindset, even if you don't become an entrepreneur, it's going to help you to be a better employee, because you are going to be more productive in your work. You're going to be more innovative. And then you are going to be better. You are going to have an edge over a lot of employees that are not entrepreneurial. So it's very, very important. Let me go to this question. Can you tell us about Generation Lead and why did you start it?
Okay. I mentioned my wife earlier. If you remember, I said something about you need to be deliberate about churning out leaders in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in this country we don't place a premium on science and tech innovation. And any nation that will develop and become a world power cannot joke and play with science and technology. Yes, we have Hollywood. Absolutely. We have our music industry. They're awesome. Nigeria has been able to express itself in creative art. But if we must really advance and develop as a nation, we must focus on science and tech innovation.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
And we must also have a system that deliberately grooms and trains political leaders.
I agree with you.
We cannot wait for people to get elected before they start training. That's why we have a lot of problems. And we don't have a system that exposes our young people to the National Assembly or to public service. If you're not a public servant, you probably will not have an idea of how public service works. If you don't work in National Assembly, you probably have no idea how the National Assembly works or how your local government works or what it takes to be a senator, or you probably don't have an idea. So Generation Lead was created to fill and take care of that gap. It's a non-profit organization, but our goal is to be an incubation hub for potential leaders in all areas, particularly when it comes to science and tech and political leadership in Nigeria.
I like that. That is awesome.
So the idea is our ultimate goal is to create like a youth center. Whereby as young people come to our youth center to expose them to things that will make them see themselves as leaders, as being able to provide leadership to their country, fan to flames their leadership skills. And if you happen to be someone like an innovator, then we can give you a hub support to build your prototype. That area that we're suffering in Nigeria. Our venture capital industry in Nigeria is not strong.
Yeah.
And America, Europe, and other countries, they have built global firms. Recently, I just read online that Zoom is now 3 times bigger than the entire Nigerian stock market. The entire Nigerian stock market. And somebody created Zoom and we're on that same Zoom right now in 2016.
Yeah, we're there. Everybody's there. Pandemic also assisted them.
Exactly. If Nigeria will prosper again, we need to begin to build companies and products and services as the entire world needs. Not just Nigeria.
Yeah. Perfect.
And if we must do that, we have to be very deliberate. They don't have the money to do such global companies, but they can create the idea. Recently, I saw on TV some students raised 3.5 million to design an aircraft. They built an aircraft from scratch in Nigeria. That's potential. If I get those people into Generation Lead and we're able to help them refine their mechanical engineering skills and they can build a locally designed plane, that's something that we can build. Imagine Nigeria now has an airplane manufacturing company that is of global standard.
Yeah.
So Generation Lead was designed to sort for people like that. Look for people with potential leadership in every area, not just science and tech, even in sports, everywhere. And we will have a facility that would enhance those gifts. So that's why I started it.
That is
to
interesting.
deliberate about leadership raising.
That is interesting. That is a great initiative, and we need that in Africa. That's interesting because we need to empower our young people. And I think one of the things we need to empower them about is what I want to go into now. You know, it has been said that Nigeria needs value reorientation. Do you agree? And if you do,
absolutely,
how can it be achieved?
Absolutely. Now, I know a lot of people have raised opinions about how to achieve it. Some have said, let's include it in our curriculum for our children in school for life. All those things are very important. We need to do that. We need to go back, for example, our history. Our students need to be aware of our history. We need history in school as a compulsory subject. History of Nigeria. Let them know the sacrifices people have paid to get Nigeria to this point. That would raise in them a patriotic spirit, a Nigerian dream. That's important. So education, making it informal education is very, very important. For model this value for people to see. A country whereby someone does Big Brother and he gets 85 million naira as his award for staying somewhere for 3 months and doing nothing. And a first class student from university doesn't even get as much as $1 million naira. I'm big together. They get 50,000 naira as their prize award. People will not value education and being brilliant. They will want to go after Big Brother. Because they were like, why will I pay for 3 months, sleeping around, just playing around, and they come up with 85 million. So for everything, why should I value education? Why should I value Nigeria, particularly the corporate world, must now get deliberate about funding initiatives that will make people appreciate good value.
Yes.
You know, today I was, and all their promos were targeted at entrepreneurs. Laptops for programmers and farmers around, startup funds, hairdressing kits for hairdressers. Their promo prices was targeted at empowering people for entrepreneurship. So we need more reality shows that will encourage entrepreneurship to come up. We need more venture capital to support hard work and dreams. Now people can know that you don't have to be a musician to grow in Nigeria.
Yes.
So our leaders too must, they must motivate this value whereby if you do something that is wrong, the law punishes you. When people keep seeing that you can get away with murder, get away with corruption, and nothing happens, no matter what you teach them in school, they will not develop those values. Because the society around them, those are key leaders and are like influencers and are like role models, are modeling something completely different and they're getting results, quote unquote. So the best way is our leaders, our corporate world to begin to model these values for people to aspire after. That's my solution.
I agree with you. Another thing that I also believe that must be done is for us to put emphasis on service, letting people know that greatness is all about serving people. Greatness is not all about, it's not the amount of money you have in your bank account. It's not how many cars you have, how many houses you have. That should begin to change in our country. Worshiping of money should stop. When you worship money, when you don't appreciate, don't let people know that good name is better than money, that there's a problem in a society. And I think that has to change. And as people of us, people like us that are really, empowering young people must begin to tell them that look, greatness is service. This man says something, Martin Luther King said, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. And and that's what we have to do in Africa, in our country. And I also tell people, I also like to remember, this quote, this popular quote by John F. Kennedy. Don't ask what your country will do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. When people begin to think about, you mentioned patriotism is very, very important. Begin to think about the next man beside you. You're not thinking only about yourself. You're thinking about other people. You're thinking about the poor guy over there that has not gotten to eat anything to eat. I mean, that's how we can make our country better. When we are not selfish, when we are not greedy, but we also expect the leaders to show example to the young people.
That's very key.
Very, very important. Very, very important. Yeah. I really had a wonderful conversation with you. We can go on and on and on and on. You have a lot of things to say. You have a lot of information to say. You are kind of a person that we can't just have one episode. We just have to, keep talking because you have a lot of brilliant ideas. And I'm so excited about Generation Lead. We need that kind of initiative in our Africa.
Thank you so much.
I mean, what's your final remark today?
Well, for everyone that wants to be an entrepreneur, one thing you must have is you must be determined. It's not an entirely smooth path to be an entrepreneur. You will fail sometimes, but most times you will fail more before you succeed. Now, if you're someone that gives up easily, you cannot be an entrepreneur. So you must make up your mind. You make up your mind that to be an entrepreneur, whatever it takes, I will succeed. You must learn to evolve and change. Sometimes it is not the business that is wrong, it's the way you are going about it. So you must have that mentality of I need to have to change strategy, take it over and over again, and expect a different result. No. Sometimes you need to change strategy, but one you must not is you must not give up. If you give up, that's the end. But if you don't give up, you will soon realize that you're actually closer to your miracle and breakthrough than when you first started. So I like to encourage everybody who wants to go into it, must never give up. Have a dream, first of all, and let that dream drive you above all else. And depend upon God, because ultimately it's God that makes things possible. So those are my closing words.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. And you see, as we were talking about, how to be an entrepreneur, it just occurred to me recently what I've learned. I just published my book, and I've been selling my books, and I realized the importance of relationship. You see, becoming an entrepreneur is all about selling your idea. If you have an idea, you can have a good idea, but if you can't sell that idea, there's a problem. If you can't make money from your idea, because I'm also a social entrepreneur, but I'm not talking about entrepreneurship. It's not until you have a very big factory. If you're an author and you're selling your book, you're an entrepreneur, and you can be an evening entrepreneur. That is, you work in the day, like myself. Then during the evening, I can also be an entrepreneur. So I've been able to discover that it's very, very important for us to be able to market. And marketing is all about relationship marketing. We must never forget that. There's a particular man that goes to the church that I go to. Is even the head of choir just started a cafe. That cafe, they sell cookies, they sell coffee. I've been going there twice because of my relationship with that guy. So must never underestimate the importance of relationship. Have good relationship. Know how to relate with people. Sometimes it's not how sweet that product is. It's how you're able to relate with people. It's how you mention something, don't give up. It's how you are not going to give up. You are able to sell your product. You have good attitude and don't give up. If you don't give up, you can make it in life. Mr. Fabiyi, thank you so much once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me. I've also learned from you. I'm amazed by your passion for our country, and your passion. I'm amazed by your passion. Yeah, and passion is very, very important. And I know we are still going to, do things together, because I also have interest in young people who can do things together as we go ahead in life. And I know the future is bright for our country. We must not just give up. We must keep encouraging them. Thank you so much once again. To our viewers, I'm
You're
sure
welcome,
you've
sir.
learned one or two things today about having entrepreneurship mindset. All of us can have entrepreneurship mindset. Whether you want to start your business or you don't want to start your business, you can have entrepreneurship mindset. You must never give up if you're starting your business. We have come across a stat that, you know, 9/10 of, businesses that start in a year don't make it before the end of that year. But those that try again, the success rate is very, very, very high. People that don't give up. So don't give up if you're starting a business. We also talked about the importance of value reorientation. We need it in Africa. We need it especially in Nigeria. We must begin to focus on service. We must begin to think about other people. We must not think about what is in for us. We must think about what do I want to give back. And when we begin to give back, we can't lose in life. When we are givers, we can't lose in life. And it's very, very important for us to also encourage our young people to lead. We must encourage them to lead. I hope once again you've learned one or two things today. I want to wish you a wonderful time ahead. See you next time. God bless you.